Hi guys, hello, welcome back to the Once You're In podcast. It's a special episode today. We've had a 2-week hiatus, and I've got a special guest with me. We've got TikTok
Reece.
sensation, nosebleed sensation, Reece Fit. How's it going, mate? Thanks for coming on. Thanks for taking the time to come
Honestly,
on podcast. Appreciate it.
yeah, it's been busy, mate. It's been busy.
Busy just doing
I've had
football and all that.
my protein in my DMs. I hit 25K on TikTok and instantly my protein want to sponsor me. I've had business meetings galore. I mean, I've been asked to sell car fresheners and stuff like this. All the stuff that influencers do, and yeah, it's been hard, mate. It's been hard. Like honestly, you messaged me earlier, and I got lost in between my Instagram DMs of just people messaging me.
I thought
So
that happened, yeah.
yeah, honestly, man, I do apologize. I've been slightly MIA recently. I've been just struggling with the fame. I've actually booked like 3 holidays in the next couple of weeks anyway, just to go out and get pissed. So yeah, it's been
coming on
good,
holiday
man.
with
It's
me,
been
aren't
good.
you?
Yeah, we are. We're going to Ireland next week for a few days. We're spending a fair few days together in the next week. We're in Manchester this week, an Airbnb, and then we leave each other for a few hours, and then Tuesday, mate, we're going to be sat on a plane, which is going to be nice.
Going to see
And
Mr.
then we've got
Buff.
another Airbnb. Yeah, how many weeks out is Jack now? Is it 4.5?
He's doing the Arnold, so pretty much 5, 4.5, 5,
Yeah.
5 from tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good. And then are you there for Jack? Are you there with CMP? Like, what's the crack? Are you going to be?
I'm there for
I'm
Jack.
guessing
I
you'll be
don't
there
think
for
I'm
Jack.
going with CMP.
You're not?
No.
Okay.
So I'll be there Friday. And then I don't really know if you want to go watch the pro show. It's only Birmingham, so we could do that. Because you said that you want to do that on the Sunday, didn't you?
Yeah, we could go. We'll sort that out, and then we could stay Sunday. I think because I'll be with CSN. They'll be. I'm guessing they'll get a hotel for the weekend, but I don't know if they'd be staying Sunday night because for the FitX they sacked it off. But if the pro show is Sunday, I'm not sure. We'll have to get something sorted. But yeah, exciting because obviously you got Noah competing this weekend, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got Frank and Matthew this weekend, which is quite cool. So it's UKDFBA Northern. So we're going to that show. Frank's fresh off his first win. So my first coaching win, first show, first win. I'm retiring from bodybuilding myself. My own bodybuilding goals. I mean, I should have done that last year. I won the overall in the first show. I should have sacked it off and gone, that's it. I'm done with bodybuilding. Yeah, because I just peaked. I came in 100%, and I'm going to do the classic excuse that everyone does. My physique got tired. I just got tired into the next shows. If I brought the same level of same power
too
to the
tired
first show, even though I got better actually, but I'm going to say I got worse because the placings got worse. So yeah, so basically I took it on the head. I knew in my own bodybuilding I should have sacked it off after one show. I now know from a coaching standpoint I'm sacking off. So I've sacked all the clients. I'm not prepping anybody.
But you can't do any better than you can't. Your record's 100%. You can't beat it.
Yeah,
there's no chance that all your clients long term are going to win every show. So you might as well stop while you're ahead.
Yeah, think about it. Think right. I'm retiring. 100% ratio. So yeah, no, in all seriousness,
in your bio,
I've got 2 clients.
100% worldwide, 100% coach, 100% result winning coach.
And watch our bullshit as well and put like over 250 plus transformations.
Yeah,
PhD.
I help busy professionals.
God,
all that bollocks.
Careful, mate. We used to say that loads, and now we haven't said that in ages. I feel like we can't say that nowadays because somebody would watch and have that in their
somebody
bio.
will have that in the bio definitely, and they'll go, "Oh, he's taking the piss out of me."
Oh no, everybody directly be me. It will directly be me. But no, it's been nice, man. It's been nice. I feel like it's been good to have a bit of a break. We feel refreshed with the podcast. It's we probably are out of what we're speaking about.
Consistency is key. If we're trying to grow this podcast, we need to be consistent. We can't be having 2-week holidays in Turkey.
Fuck. Yeah. Well, it is what it is. So anyway, mate, how's the last 2 weeks been? You've been on like poverty level calories on rest days.
Shredded,
yeah. You actually, your face is looking skinnier, mate, on these calls now, which is it's impressive, man. Shame your physique isn't, but that'll come.
Face is all right though. Yeah, all good.
Down now.
25 pounds as of this morning in 6.5 weeks.
You feel it yet, bro? You feeling it?
No, I feel absolutely sound. It's weird. Like, you know what it is as well? Like, in terms of hunger, I honestly think my first meal, I could go all day after that. And it's just eggs with a bit of ketchup.
Yeah.
But because it's so high volume, so I have like 300 grams or 300 mil of egg white and then one egg and then the ketchup. It takes me like a good 10, 15 minutes to eat it. But like it fills me up massively. Like I had that this morning at just gone 8, and then I didn't eat again until like midday. Usually by my midday, like when I was having the food that was on before, like loads more, by midday I'd be like, or well, by 11, I'd be ready for a meal.
Yeah.
So like that egg white's magical, mate. People dieting, get yourself some egg whites.
Yeah.
The only thing is they're a bit expensive.
Yeah, and they're sometimes hard to get. There's been an egg white shortage.
It's because I've bought more, mate.
Yeah, you've
So I'm
stocking
just
up.
dieting so hard. That's all I'm having. Every
Why did
meal.
you copy my first meal? Because my first meal was one egg and 300 milliliters of egg
Yeah, I
whites.
copied you, mate. I just want to be you. I just can't help myself. I have to copy it. I have to copy everything.
But no, 25 pounds down, 25 carb, non-training days, mate. Sounds fun. But we've been saying you're still fat, so you can get away with it. And you should be fine. Like, it's not.
This is what I was saying yesterday. Like,
yeah,
I find it mental. People moan about dieting with it.
When they're not.
If you've dieted for, let's say, 12 weeks plus and you're pretty lean, fair play. Like if you're very, very lean, then fair enough, you're gonna feel like shit. But like you'll hear people who have dieted for like 4 weeks and they're not like necessarily moaning, but making comments like, oh yeah, I feel a bit weaker in the gym, or I can tell I'm a bit lighter. It's like it's all in your head. It literally is all in your head. Like you just find it frustrating. Like, especially when it comes to like the hunger. You've got that much fat that you're not going to be hungry. You might be in the first few days because it's a shift in hunger hormones and you're just not used to it. But literally, like, you're not hungry. You just, I feel a bit different. You're not hungry. You're not starving. Like, so yeah, stop fucking moaning if you're still fat.
All you fat, like anyone who's fat, you can't fucking moan about anything. Not just diet, anything. If you're fat, you can't moan. That's a new one.
No, but like I mean, like I don't mean someone who's, let's say, really overweight and struggling to diet, who's always struggled. Like that's different because you've been brought up differently or whatever, for whatever reasons. But like for people who have dieted before and go through bulks and cuts or gaining phases and diet phase, whatever you want to call them, or a mass phase, mass gaining phase, whatever they're called something different every week now.
Yeah.
If you've been through a massing phase,
get through an improvement phase.
Yeah, improvement phase. You can't say bulk or mass because it means that you're getting fat. You're getting through an improvement phase and then you're dieting and you're moaning about being hungry within even, let's say, not being shredded. Stop moaning. Literally just stop moaning.
Yeah.
Okay. That's how I'm talking to you, Reece, because you're the worst for it. All I had yesterday was you moaning about fucking hurting yourself on holiday.
It's battered, mate. Fucking came back from holiday worse than when I left.
Reece fell down some stairs on holiday, and everybody rushed over to see if he was all right.
A proper, like, I'll tell the podcast, and like, it's not that funny because you couldn't imagine, like, you can't really imagine it, but you kind of can. I was coming down these steps, and I literally just finished some form feedback, so I wasn't really like looking forward.
Such a coach.
I'm such a coach.
Such a coach. Why do you have to tell us that? No one gives a shit that you were doing form feedback.
Finished up my 30 minutes AM fasted cardio.
Yeah.
Okay. I actually did. And I was on the way down to breakfast, just being better than everybody.
We must have gone hypo and passed out. Is that what happened?
Yeah, shit. I did fasted cardio. Fuck. So yeah, I did my fasted cardio. And I was just on the way, form feedback, being such a coach. And I was going down these steps. And basically I got to this point where it was tiles and there was like loads of water on the tiles. And I didn't really see it because you don't really look at you don't look at the floor and think, is there water there? So I just carried on walking.
Sliders.
Yeah, and they lived up to their name.
You've got to be careful, mate.
Yeah. They lived up to their name because I slid the fuck up. I was awful.
You've got to be careful in sliders. Yeah. The worst place to walk in sliders?
Where?
Services on the motorway. Whenever I come off on the motorway and go to the services for a piss, I like walk like this because otherwise you just slip.
Yeah. And I was just walking down, stumbling down, like walking down as you would normally. And I took one step with my left leg and my foot went like, and I was like, oh, sound. And at this point, I was like on my phone and I was like, I'm fine. And then because I tried to counteract it, I was going at some pace. My other leg kind of went forward. I ended up doing like somewhat the splits. I then went over on my left ankle, rolled this like really badly. And because of the momentum, I ended up like going over onto my right side.
Inertia.
And I hit my knee. and like my knee bounced me because I was at pace, and I ended up landing on my like side of my right of my face and then my shoulder,
At your
and then I
right
ended
pace,
up
yeah.
right side of my face and then my right shoulder, and then I ended up spinning with the momentum onto my back. So I looked like a turtle on it, like on its shell, just like with my legs frailing in the air on the floor. And then loads of people rushed over for breakfast, and I kind of like jumped up quickly, and I just laughed, and I got up, and I was like, "Oh, I'm fine." Like, everyone was running over. I was like, "I'm sound. It's fine." The adrenaline and the not embarrassment, 'cause I didn't get embarrassed, but like the occasion wore off. I couldn't walk, and my left ankle was just fucked, and it's been really bad since. Today's been better, but it's 2 weeks on Saturday, and for 2 weeks for me just to roll my ankle, like I feel like if I was like 40 or 50, I probably would have broke something, but it was swollen, it bruised, I probably did chip something.
If you were natural, you'd have broken your leg. You'd broken your
Yeah.
skull if you were natty.
Well, no, to be fair, I didn't have growth hormone with me. If I had growth, then I would have been fine.
You'd have recovered like that.
Yeah, I would have ramped in like 20 IUs of growth, which was
You'd have
like
been sound.
less than I usually use, if I'm honest, daily. And yeah, I just recovered instantly. But no, that was that. And then I tweaked my bicep tendon because I fell down like this minibus. Again, my left ankle, I rolled on it, and I fell. I kneed the door, like leaving this minibus, everyone in front of me, and I just slipped down the slide of this minibus, twatted the door, and everyone again rushed over to me. So I was just all over the place, mate. It's because I kept drinking. I was just having alcoholic drinks all the time. I was just pissed.
All holiday.
Still holiday. I was having I had like
pissed.
an 8 a.m. pint. That's what it was. Mate, there was people that I saw. I had one guy that was next to me at the pool, and he had a beer, like a pint of beer at like 9 a.m. or 9:30, and I was like,
Did he go, "Oh, it's 5 o'clock somewhere," and you went, "Shut the fuck up"?
No, I didn't. I just looked at him and was like, I couldn't imagine at all ever prior to midday or prior to like 8 p.m. ever going.
Yeah, it's what people do, isn't it? They're on holiday and they're like, "Oh, this is what we do on holiday." Like, fair play if that's what they want to do, but I know what you mean. I find it mental. Brush your teeth and then straight for a beer.
Yeah, not even like, they haven't even drank any water, and you think, right, the first drink I'm
People
gonna have.
don't drink water. Who was I speaking to about that the other day? I was chatting to someone about that.
Mm.
And we were on about how they literally, it was Dan the Gash Jones when we trained together. We were saying like people just don't drink water. It's mental. Like they literally get up, they'll have a coffee, they'll not have anything until later on. They'll have another coffee, they'll not have anything until later on. Then they'll have a few beers. It's like that is literally don't have any water. It's like it's fucking mental.
Yeah, it's scary. But no, in all seriousnness, it was a nice holiday. I took the first week off training. I still did cardio because I needed a deload. It had been like 9 weeks because I literally trained from when I had my surgery. I then had obviously 3 weeks where I couldn't train, and then I had like 9 and a bit weeks because obviously I didn't train for such a long amount of time, and it took me a few weeks to build up. So usually I deload every like 6 or 7 weeks. So I pushed it on. I could tell towards the latter, because I dieted as well, that I was like running out of steam and I needed a deload. So it's quite nice have a week off. I still did my cardio. Food wise, because of how like the place worked, we were talking about it yesterday, like annoyingly the places where it opened and closed was a bit annoying. So I almost like I could only eat 3 main meals, and then I was having like a shake like at like 5 p.m. But my food structure and choice stayed relatively the same throughout the holiday. And then the second week, the gym was one of those kind of holiday gyms. There was like a barbell, enough load to go up to like 200 kilos. There was a few machines that were like techno gym and stuff like that, so I could still kind of crack on. Is it going to be the most productive sessions? No, but I still did my cardio pretty much daily, and like I said, I just built my sessions back up, and I got back into the gym properly on Tuesday. Strength was sound, and then yesterday was my first full session with upper, and literally it was like the best numbers I've had in quite a good while. And body weights I was another half a kilo down, so I think I was like 0.5 of a kilo up for my lightest. So I'm running almost like a maintenance week this week just to kind of get back into sort of a maintenance phase, a 1 week maintenance phase. But no, to be fair, it's one of those where like, because I'm lean, I'm very lean, I'm not shredded, and I don't need to be.
You're back yesterday, mate.
Oh, so
lean.
Lean. Could you see my Christmas tree just all along?
I can see your Christmas tree. Mental.
Wow. Yeah, ridiculous. Yeah, thanks, man. My back's like a couple of weeks out at this point. But no, in all seriousness, like it's one of those where my training's fine, and I haven't even been in the gym for a week again to really pick up the demand to actually push food up. So I'll leave it as it is for now. My food's like relatively at like a maintenance point, and then when I need to bump it up, which will probably be in the next few weeks, I'll be aiming to kind of get back to maybe 110, 115 kilos within the next, 110 probably within the next month or two, or next month probably, and then 115 within the next couple of months. If I could start prep like 120, that'd be good. So that would probably be like a 15 kilo prep, I'd imagine, like a 15 to 17 kilo prep, which would be sound. So yeah, all is good. All is good. Back into somewhat of a gaining phase, but just holding for the next week or two until the demand is there for more food and more body weight. So yeah, that's an update on me.
I would say aim for minimum 100 kilos. Like, I don't mean minimum as in, I would say maximum if I meant maximum.
Minimum 100 kilos. Sorry, wait.
So when you prep, I think in your head, you're thinking what, 102 to 105?
Yeah, I'd imagine.
I think you'll have to get down to at least 100 kilos.
Yeah. I'm not saying
Maybe like as a minimum. That's what I mean. In terms of just like, because it's always the same. There's always more than you think. Like even last year, like you were thinking, and then it was like, shit, you're not there.
No. I'm not saying I'll be on stage at 105. I know I'll be lighter, but I'm more so saying I'll probably be on stage at 102, 103 full. You know, have to get down a little bit lesser. I'm thinking if I start prep at, let's say, 120, 117 to 120, that's fine based off the fact I'd probably be about 100 kilos on stage now. I reckon I'll probably gain another couple of kilos, I'd imagine, but that's with a fuller sort of look. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to be 103 kilos at my lowest, and then I'm going to fill up and step on stage at 107. That's not going to be the case. I'd be very surprised if that was. Yeah, I would be. My back would be very fat. I could probably pull it up on my front, but my back would be horrendous.
It's the same every year.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to do the same thing. You're going to keep assessing your front, and your back's still going to be fat, and then you're going to go, oh shit, at the end, and then you're going to have to dig really hard.
I knew I should have signed up. I should have signed up with Phil Viz. You know Phil Viz?
Yeah, he messaged you, didn't he?
Yeah, knew I fucking should have signed up with him. Fuck.
He'd have already had you in a maintenance phase.
Yeah, I would have said, mate, we need a maintenance phase right now, and we need vasoburn on that back ASAP. That's what I would have said.
Mate, I'm trying to gain. Nah, vasoburn. You can have vasoburn in a surplus. Nothing wrong with that. Just get that back a little bit leaner.
Yeah, let's get that back a little bit leaner. But let's push food up, and let's keep cardio high, and let's just throw loads of T3 and T4 in there. That's not to actually say that Phil is only coach for saying
that sounds like we are, doesn't it? We're not.
Yeah. No, we're not. I don't actually know what his protocols would be. However, it wouldn't surprise me if there's some coaches out there that would probably be like, yeah, sound vasoburn. Your back's a bit fat, but your front can handle a bit of fat. So let's just put a bit of vasoburn. Yeah, and let's have a bit of T3. But ideally, if the T3 can only go to your lower back, that'd be fine. And everything else. Great. Yeah.
Right. I've got lots of questions because before I had my deload, I put up a questions box saying that there's no podcast because Reece is away, but then I didn't get back to questions. So let's smash through those, and then we'll get through what we can of the ones from both of us today. And then what I thought we could do is we could potentially, if we get time at the weekend, we'll do a second one so we can put out 2 next week.
Okay. Yeah. That's fine with me.
We could even try and film one with Jack when we're with Jack, see if he wants to come on.
Yeah. That would be a bad idea. However, he is less than 5 weeks out, and I don't know if his brain cognitive function is going to be
said that to him because he was saying that the lads on his podcast were saying like, mate, you all right? You seem like fucked. And I was like, yeah, you are fucked. I said, why do you think me and Reece didn't do a podcast for the final weeks of his prep? Because he was fucked. Yeah. Like, he wouldn't have been a very good podcast host. Like me, I'm shit because I don't answer questions very well.
Yeah. No, I remember.
You ready? Actually,
I'd just be daydreaming. I'd be there and I'd be like, I'd think to myself, I'd answer and I'd be like, I'm not in the place to talk. You'd ask me a question and I'd like be running it in my head 4 times and you'd be like, so, and I'd be like, yeah. It was just not good.
Right, first of all, I'm going to quickly run through these. So I also put on my story recommendations for people to come on the podcast, either as a co-host or as a guest. So I'm going to run through them. And Reece, obviously, there's no one else here. Reece, you let me know your thoughts. Okay. So Bulldog Physique said, perhaps your missus, so I'm assuming both of ours, provide an insight and point of view from a partner of a bodybuilder. We're not bodybuilders. We're not bodybuilders.
No, and I'm a men's physique guy, and that doesn't count.
Archie Keogh said, not Reece. Cracking shout, mate. Then he also said, Jack Conte. Is that how you say his surname?
Yeah, I think so. Conte.
Just get him on and talk about Conte sport. I'm sure he's done that on podcasts. Let's get him on and talk about something else.
Yeah.
Charlie Everill, bring back Ped's fun facts. Well, Ped was missing for a little while, wasn't he? And then he tagged me in a few stories. Didn't tag you. Doesn't like
I
you.
know. Weird that.
Doesn't like you.
What the fuck?
So yeah, hope you're doing well, Ped. And if you fancy giving us a fun fact, then we'd love one. Charlie Everall also said Josh Croggan, and Josh Croggan is probably up there to be a co-host, isn't he?
Yeah,
I spoke to him
Josh would be
about it.
the
We spoke
yeah.
about the contract. He was buzzing as well. He was like,
Really?
I'll pay you to be on it." He said, "Yeah."
I like Josh.
I didn't
Josh
say
is
that, but he did want to be. He was buzzing. He wanted to be on
we
it.
say that all the time. Like Josh is the only guy that we know that would actually. There might be others, but I think he would suit the vibe.
Yeah,
He would.
there's plenty of others, but
He'd
Josh,
transition in. And he'd be like, there wouldn't even be any
yeah,
maintenance.
there won't be
phase
any
at start.
Bundesliga tax on Josh.
Yeah, there would be any Bundesliga tax. He'd instantly be in, and he'd be good.
He'd be bagging.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Josh is probably we'll get him on as a guest, and then we'll see how he does, and then he might.
Yeah, we'll give him a trial.
If ever one of us is away, he can jump in. Yeah. Josh Croggan said Jordan Henderson, so we'll try to get him on. Douglas McCardle said Gio Ashley, and Gio Ashley's in the FPL. He's called George Ashley. So George, if you're listening,
wow.
If you're not Aaron, then let us know if you want to be on. Jack Eagle said me and my carer Danny. It'd be good to get him and his carer Danny on.
Yeah,
and then he put, reckon Big Rammy would be good as well. So we could get Big Rammy on. We'll try. Josh Jenkins wants Dan Park on.
Yeah.
Cam Ashmore wants Butcher's Wet Dream on.
Yeah.
Miles Mason says Shannon and Sanaya. So that's a couple of votes for the females.
Yeah.
Joey B lifts. He's put then me, but I'm sure he put someone else.
Joey, you recommend yourself, bro. Come on.
Nah. He put get Macca on. So Macca, we'll probably get Macca on at some point, and then he put then me. So Macca, we will get Macca on. Lewis Jones, and then he put this is Dan.bz put Lewis Jones, then put at Future. So we've got to record that podcast at Future.
So we're going to go to Future Fitness.
We've got to go to Future, not because Lewis's name is Future Physiques. We've got to go to Future to film it. Oren put George Osborne.
Yep.
And then Oren also put Adebayo Akinfenwa as his physique represents BB. And then Ryan Chatfield put TBJP. Don't know who that is.
No, I don't know.
I only know it as Kojo's now.
Yeah.
Exactly. Get Kojo on. See if we can get Kojo on. Drop him a message.
Yeah.
Hey Kojo, hope you're doing well. You want to come on the podcast?
We'd love to get you on the podcast.
Right. Now I'm going to go through my questions from before. Is that good? You all right with that?
Go for it,
you get upset?
Yeah, go for it, mate. No, mate, you're taking the piss about all these questions nowadays. Come on, how many questions?
Mate, I'm so busy. I was just so popular. God, mate, you ought to start asking for questions on TikTok. We'll be here all day.
Fucking hell, yeah. I should, to be fair.
Something about a nosebleed again. Something else about a nosebleed. That's all you are. You're just a nosebleed guy.
Nosebleed merchant and front lat spread that got 35,000 likes.
Oh, did it? Well done.
Yeah, and saw over a million people.
It saw over 1 million people.
Yeah, it saw that front lat spread.
It saw over 1 million people.
I got a comment saying next Dorian Yates, and I'm like, maybe if I made it black and white.
I don't think so.
No.
Right, you ready?
Yeah.
Bulldog Physique. How do you maintain your relationships when deep in prep? P.S. Love the podcast. Cheers, Bulldog. We love you, mate.
Yeah.
We don't know who you are, but
yeah, cheers.
I'll have a look at your profile and then I'll tell you whether or not I love you.
Yeah. No, Sam. Well, to be fair, I would say it depends on the individual. It depends on the situation. I've only been in prep once. I was Finn. Finn was with Shannon for 2 years prior, and Shannon had been in the fitness industry prior to this, so she understood what a prep is going to be like. And then Sanaya was literally prepping she did the exact same show as me for the first show, so she was the exact same amount of weeks out. And I'd say we didn't really struggle in the sense. It was just like we're cracking on. Sanaya's fucked. I'm fucked. That's quite normal. I definitely say we saw each other less.
You guys did struggle. Not in like a sense of like, really struggling, but like you didn't like each other.
No, but that's going to be normal. And I think I'm not going to say Sanaya.
Maybe if both are prepping,
Yeah. I don't know. I think Sanaya might have took it more personal to her, if we're being honest, because it was more like surprising. But I knew.
Dick.
I know. I just knew that we just would annoy each other. It's completely normal. And like you're gonna have your routines. You're gonna have this. Like I'm definitely more like I didn't go round to hers because I want to do my cardio. I don't want to change stuff around. She probably was more adaptable, but that was based off the situation that we're in. And it was more so a sense where the only thing I actually found draining and tiring was it was the only conversation that we really spoke about. And like I remember saying to her multiple times, like, we don't have to talk about someone on prep, or we don't have to talk about this, like you can talk about someone else. And I think it was more so because I wanted to kind of separate myself from, yeah, we're dieting. And to be fair, like up until about maybe 4 weeks out, we were sound. Like there wasn't. We went to Leeds twice. We did things. We went to London where we like went to like we had like a date night, but we didn't eat food. It was nice. It was sound. It was probably the only really the last 4 weeks, and then also obviously I think we could both agree, and Sanaya would agree, like in between shows, she wasn't in the best spot from a psychological standpoint because she was struggling, which is normal. Like everyone is, and therefore it was a little bit more iffy because when you're in the depths of a contest prep towards the end,
the trenches,
you don't have enough.
Say the trenches.
When you're in the trenches, yeah, when you're in the trenches, when you go into war, like you're in a position where you don't have enough energy for yourself, let alone for somebody else who doesn't have enough energy for themselves. And then when they're maybe being and emitting potentially like negative energy or negative behavior because they feel shit, the last thing you want to do is be a part of that. So it was where like I could take quite a mature look at things, in my opinion, and say, right, this is not going to be productive. So I was like, right, we'll see you at finals, we'll chill out, like we'll get something. And then like afterwards it was where I'm not gonna say we built our relationship back up, but it was definitely like, right, we're both pretty fucked. This is not going to be productive if we just annoy each other constantly. So yeah, I think we both were quite mature in a sense. I think because I knew exactly what it would be like going in, because I've dieted before and I've been in the situation like where I've dieted stupidly aggressively, and I know what my perceptions are like to females, and it's not worth it to kind of put yourself both through that stress, especially if you're both in that position. So yeah, it's what it is. Everyone's gonna be different. Shannon was like, there was a few times probably where you got pissed off at her or she got pissed off at you, but you just dealt with it, don't you? You just kind of understand that's how the situation is.
Yeah, I think going into it as well, like what people often do is they make out it's such a massive deal. And like, oh, how am I going to maintain my relationship when I prep? It's like, you shouldn't even be thinking like that. Like, if you're going to be a dick, like that, you do have control over that. Like, and you know when you've done it as well. So like there'll be times when I'd like have a bit of a go at Shannon or something that I wouldn't do now, but like it was like just because you're so low energy and you just fucked. Like, but then afterwards you go,
tender.
Yeah, you had to go to tender. Yeah, it's tender. Yeah. Hope you're all right, mate. Hope you've recovered.
All right, mate.
But like little things like that you don't really realize at the time that you're being a twat, and then you go, oh shit, and then just as long as you actually just acknowledge it and apologize, it's sound. Like, but yeah, it's I think people just overanalyze it and build it up so much that they're so worried, like, oh, what if this happens? What if that happens? Like, the best thing you can do is sort of explain, especially if your partner doesn't really understand it or anything like that, explain to them and say, look, like, I'm probably going to be really low energy towards the end. Like, if I'm not myself, that's not me. That's not the new version of me. That's just me with really low energy. Yeah. If I don't want to, go and do things with you, if I don't want to go and do extra activities, I don't want to have sex with you, etc. Like, then that's just because I'm really low energy. It's not because I'm not attracted to you or because I don't like spending time with you or anything like that. Like, as long as you sort of outline that, then when they understand that, then I think you're sound. And like, there's times at the end with Shannon where like I wouldn't talk. Like, she'd like speak and like, like all my responses like, you don't have time to give an answer or comment. If she comes home now and talks to me about work, I'd be like, oh, really? Like, why? Or then you're just like, you haven't got the energy. But again, it's part of the sport, and people have got to understand that it's not normal. But that's the sport. The sport isn't normal. Of course, it's not normal. Like, fucking standing on stage in your pants all tanned up. It's not a normal sport. So you can't expect to feel normal towards the end when you're at such low levels of body fat. Like, I think we spoke about this yesterday. Like, people are expecting to prep and feel normal. Like, it's not going to happen. No. And if it does happen, I guarantee you don't get lean.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, it's very individual, but you just got to go into it with an open mind and think, like you said, you're putting yourself in the position. You can still control how you are. You don't have to be a dick. There will be times where you are out of line and out of character, and you might go fuck, and you have to apologize, and it's part of it. But you get better at understanding that, and it's very challenging. But if you go in and you're like, I'm going to be a twat, you're going to be a twat.
Also, no one, like you said, it's your choice. No one's forcing you to prep. Like, if you really think you can't handle it emotionally, then you don't have to do it.
It's not for you. Yeah. It's not for you. And it shouldn't be for everybody. Like, people get into bodybuilding now and competing, and it's not for everybody.
People have
And
trained for a
I think,
year and they think, oh yeah, I'm going to prep, and it's like it's a lot. It is a lot more. As much as like we say that it's easy if you have a good routine and this and that, it is more difficult than a lot of people think because
yeah,
they see some guy do it on Instagram. They go, oh, I can do that.
yeah, no, and it's like, and it's pretty simple. It's simply the case of like, if it isn't for you, it will show because you'll step on stage and you would have missed
No, you
beats.
won't.
Yeah,
You
or yeah,
won't
you
step on
won't
stage
step on stage, or you will do, and you'll look shit.
and you'll hate the whole process.
Yeah, and then you'll never compete again. I
Yeah.
can guarantee, and it's like it's quite funny because like, I've seen it firsthand this year. And like Sanaya, for example, with some of her posing girls, like you can tell with some individuals who it's made out for and who it isn't. And if it's not made out for you, that's fine. That's not an issue. Like it's just not for you, and that's cool. Not everything is. Me and you could go and do loads of different sports, and I can guarantee if we were to do a week's worth of playing every sport, we would finish some sports and go, "That was fucking wicked. I want to do that again." We'd finish some others and we'd go, "No fucking chance."
Yeah.
And that's how it is. Some things are for you, some things aren't. That's cool. It's
The
the
thing
same with
is,
any
like
hobby or any
with
habit.
bodybuilding, you have to adapt and you have to develop your like mentality because it's not like a normal sport, is it?
No, no,
Like
no.
if again, if you want to be at that level, like for example, if you want to go and play bowls, you don't need to work yourself to any extreme to do that.
No.
Like obviously you need to work hard to be good at it, but you don't have to be at any extreme level of body fat to do it. So
Yeah.
it is different with bodybuilding, like because it is an extreme sport, if you like, isn't it?
No,
In
no, I
terms of
agree.
health, not just in terms of effort or
Yeah.
like extreme sports have classed as like things like BMX and like snowboarding and stuff, aren't they? Like I don't mean it in that sense. I mean it in the sense of like extreme in regards to your health.
And mentality. And that's what I mean when it says like I've seen with Sanaya, like some of her posing girls, they might not get back to her for 3 days, or they might not do something like proper, or they might just randomly cancel a session. And then she'll tell me 2 weeks down the line, oh, she's messaged me and she's not prepping anymore. She's stopped. And it's
You
like
can see it from a mile off. Like
yeah, you can see like there's certain traits in individuals, and it's like it adds up, and they might not even think about it. And it's like what we've said about like 1 day's worth of missing your steps. It might not seem like, oh, I'm 500 steps under. It's not going to make a massive difference. But that's the same individual who then will internalize that and then think later down the line, oh, you know what? I'm a little bit hungry. I'm just going to have an extra 5 grams of cereal. 5 grams. What's it going to be? 1, 2 carb? Like, but that adds up, and then it's going to be a little bit behind. It just leads to these inconsistencies, and that sort of mindset eventually gets to a point potentially where you don't step on stage, you miss beats, you
I
end up
was chatting to Shannon
like
about
shit,
that last
you know?
night. We went on
Yeah,
a walk and we were chatting about that, and I was saying like, I feel like after this prep, what like after this year of shows, I should say,
yeah,
I feel like it's almost like I want to put more content out there in regards to mainly like the mental side of prep because I
yeah.
feel like people don't understand that you have to be so on it and you have to train yourself almost through an off season to be able to do that. Like again, it's like it's very cliche, but the people who treat an off season like a prep are the ones who prep like a breeze. It's fucking easy
Yeah.
because nothing really changes. You're just eating a bit less and you're moving a bit more, and you maybe have to restrict yourself a bit, obviously, because you're not maybe having like off-plan meals, or whatever. But
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't dream of missing my steps in an off season. Like, and that
No.
might sound like stupid to some people and go, "Oh, fucking hell!" Like, relax a little bit. But I feel better for it. I
Yeah.
wouldn't just randomly be like, "Oh, I've missed my steps today." Like,
Yeah.
obviously, when I was gaining, like, I didn't have a specific step goal anyway. But like now, when I'm in the diet, like, there's no chance that I'd just be like, "Oh, my steps. Oh, I've got 12,000. I'm on 11,000. Oh, that's a shame." Like, it's not a
Yeah.
shame. It's your fault. You haven't done it. Like, but yeah, I feel like people, you have to have that within yourself. And we've said it before. Like, we've got it. We've got that thing where we've always had it, where we want to be better. We want to be the best we can possibly be at it. If you don't have that from within, if there isn't a voice in your head saying there's a box that you haven't ticked there that you need to fucking tick, you'll just become lazy and complacent, and the whole prep will go. Like you
Yeah.
just if you've done that once and you accept it, and like I remember saying to Slater last year, he did the exact same thing. He missed his steps slightly, and I said, like, look, I said those few hundred steps do not matter in the slightest. I was like, but it's the knock-on effect it has, and it's the fact that you can then again, like you said, oh well, it was a few hundred steps last time, and I still lost body weight. I'll just do 2,000 less today.
Yeah.
And then I'll overeat, and then I won't tell Finn that I didn't do my cardio, and this and that and this and that, and before you know it, you don't get lean. Yeah, and then you're going, oh, why have I not got lean? It's like, but you're just lying to yourself the whole time.
Yeah. Good answer.
Right, I'm gonna stop it for part two.
Sound.
All right, next question. This is from Maddie. So she asked, how did you break your scapula? Because I put about it a while ago on the fact that I don't do dips because I broke my scapula. Didn't break my scapula, Maddie. I don't know if Maddie watches the podcast. I did say I'd answer these on my story. So sorry to those who don't listen to or watch the podcast.
They've been refreshing your story ever since, going, this fucking Finn, he doesn't post, he doesn't.
They've been checking it every single day.
Where's my fucking answer?
Yeah, so I do apologise. Yeah, I haven't broken my scapula, but dips cause issues. I had like a winging scapula, which flares up now and again still, but it's loads better at the minute. It has been for a while, to be fair. But dips are definitely a movement. They just literally, as soon as I go into that position, they just feel awkward. I used to love dips as well, didn't I? I used to be good at the bin dips, yeah. I used to be strong on dips. Like, I used to be good.
You were doing like 50, 60 kilos, yeah?
Yeah.
I think I remember like body weight for like sets of 30 plus.
Yeah.
Like, you were better than me at dips.
Good at my dips. That's why I've got big arms.
We were both natty, mate. You were better than me. Like,
you've never been natty.
Oh fuck yeah! I forgot I lied. I think I got a comment on one of something like you. It was like a transformation. It was like, yeah, bro, looking good, but you were definitely on gear at 18.
Yeah,
like,
you were.
18, bro. So,
it was me. It was my burner account.
Was it your burner? Yeah.
Right. This is from. Sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong. Gemuel Principe. That's how it is spelt. So,
exotic name. I like it.
It is a cool name, yeah. Is it true that most people who work out or workouts, he's put in UF gym, does online coaching?
Actually, it is. Yeah. Well, anybody at
you have to be an online coach to be allowed in.
Yeah, online coach, influencer, TikTok sensation. I'm pretty much all of them. I'm the worst cliche because I get annoyed. I always say to you, like, everybody in there.
And you're a big cheat, and you're really orange. You're literally every stereotype.
Fuck. Yeah, shit. That's it, mate. That's
all right. You just realised.
I know. I don't remember. I've got a holiday. I've got a holiday.
Even worse. I've got a holiday. Yesterday, you had a t-shirt on that was way too small for you.
Yeah.
And you were posing like right in front of people training. You are the worst stereotype there is.
Yeah. That's it, mate. And you're just a skinny natty. So
I know that though.
Yeah, no, but that's it. Like, at least I look like I train, you know.
Don't know.
If you were to say to somebody, I spend 3 hours plus in the gym 5 times a week, they'd look at you and go, really? Like, that long?
That is just part of being a natural bodybuilder, mate. Unless you're a very, very good one.
Did you see the guy who did the video? And it's like, natural bodybuilding is like working a minimum job your whole life and expecting to be a millionaire. That's what it was. Someone said it like, and I was like, it's quite funny.
People don't think
it's
like
taking a piss. It's a joke.
There was something on. I can't remember what I saw it on. I can't remember. Someone commented something like, "Oh, it was on Adam Powell's post." Someone commented something like, "You lot still staying natural makes me piss. If you want to be at the top level, you have to like. If you want to be an IFBB pro, you have to do this and do that."
It's like, goes on to be an IFBB
exactly.
pro.
Like people think that that's how it has to be. It's like it's like going down to five-a-side on a Wednesday night and going, "You lot are fucking stupid playing football. You're not going to be in the Prem." It's like, oh, cheers, mate. It'd be nice if I was, but also like you don't. Well, I was gonna say you don't have to take gear to be in the Prem, but a lot of the players are.
Yeah, the modern day.
Anyway. Archie Keogh, past or present footballers who would you like to meet the most and why?
Oh, Ronaldinho.
I was going to say Ronaldinho.
Yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo would be number 1, 100%.
You don't meet your heroes, mate. He'll be a twat.
Yeah, I think.
I would rather not meet him because I know that I'd be disappointed.
Yeah, Sir Alex Ferguson. No, not a footballer. I'm a football manager. Yeah. He'd be fantastic to talk to. Jose Mourinho. Wow, that'd be an amazing conversation. I'd probably prefer managers. I prefer managers than footballers, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, but you could like Jose Mourinho was a player. So
yeah.
Pep Guardiola was a player.
I'm trying to think who else off the top of my head would be really good, because I think there's some footballers who haven't got much there, unfortunately, and all they know is football. But I'd want to speak to somebody, like Gary Neville. I reckon he'd be good to chat to.
Jamie you'd never get out of it.
Yeah, that's what I mean, because they'd just be good to talk to. But I feel like if I was to be like, oh yeah, let me meet, I don't know, Adriano. Actually, he'd be probably quite an interesting one because his dad died. It's all about his depression and stuff.
Messi would be a terrible one.
Yeah, I think Messi would just
What
be
are you
like,
saying about dads dying?
yeah, dad's dying. Adriano, dad died. Do you remember the Adriano, the El Presador, whatever they named him, the
Yeah.
Inter Milan guy? Yeah, that's what happened to him falling off. His dad died, and I think he got depressed and
Really?
stopped training and was drinking and stuff. Yeah, so that'd be quite an interesting one actually. But
Yeah.
there are some footballers who literally just played football from when they just were spawned out their mum, and they wouldn't even have like. I bet Kylian Mbappe is just literally he's just football. That's all he knows. You know,
Yeah, I
all
think the newer generation of players wouldn't be great to talk to. Like someone like who's retired a while back and got a lot of good stories and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Someone like Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, what's that?
Best player in the world.
Yeah.
Still play now. United need to get him back. He'll sort things out.
Yep. Right. Next question.
Argan Evgevson. How many sets per muscle do you usually prescribe a new client?
Depends on the individual, depends on how much muscle mass they have, depends on a needs analysis based on their physique and what areas could potentially need improvement. In reality, it's probably better to start on a baseline, maybe slightly higher volume actually, in case you don't know how well they train. And then as you kind of go throughout a meso, you just assess accordingly based off their own feedback.
Yeah, I think you can look through sort of like what would be an average MEV or an average sort of MRV and look between there and think, right, we'll put you here, we'll do this, we'll do that. But you don't need to overcomplicate it. Like start relatively low. If they don't train very well, get them to start training well and potentially add an extra set here or there to improve, in terms of the form and understanding of movements. More time on a movement is only going to get you better at it. And then assess from there, like say, based on recovery, based on performance, based on the look. Yeah. People complicate it way too much.
Yeah.
Right, there's a certain specific perfect amount of sets per muscle group. There isn't.
Like if I was to say to you right now, how many sets of delts do you do per week? Would you know?
No, I'd have to think. I wouldn't be like, oh, I do this amount because it's perfect.
Yeah. I've never thought to myself, right, if I this previous gaining phase, I had 18 sets of direct delt work. Now this one, if I titrate that up to 22, I'm gonna have a little. I literally will say to myself in the week, I'll assess the week and go, right, how do my delts feel? Could I handle more? If so, I might add a set. I might add an intensifier. If my delts aren't recovering, I take stuff away. It's pretty simple. We never overanalyze and think like, I need this, I need that. Right, I'm going to put I've got maybe 80 sets per week. I'm going to divide that by my 5 training sessions. I'm then going to look and think, right, well, I need more of this, I need more of that. It's simply a case of, do I recover? Am I progressing?
Too overcomplicated. Like people obsess over those kind of things. It's like similar to being obsessed with your exact sort of a macro percentage of like it's got to be perfect. It's like it doesn't have to be perfect. Like what matters most is are you actually doing it? Like, are you actually doing it consistently? Same with training. Doesn't matter if you've got a perfect split or perfect exercises. Yeah, exactly. Like it matters that you actually train. You train well. You train with good form. You push yourself. Like you'll grow. Next one. Would you ever do it? This is weird. Would you ever do a meso with escalating volume rather than static volume? We just said yes, we do.
Yeah, we do, and we've done this for years. This is the thing. Like,
I don't think it's anything magic.
Years. We've always been the case. Like, I remember when you trained at AJ's and AJ was like, I felt like we could do 3 sets here and get away with 3 sets on the hamstring curl. And when we trained up, like we started off our training meso, first lockdown 2.5 years ago, we were going to do a push pull legs upper lower. We planned out our training meso. Within the first 3 sessions, we were like, there is no chance we're recovering from this. We were fucking ruined. Like we were battered because of all the free weight movements. We dropped down total volume. Then we started to add a few intensifiers. Then we started to add continuous tension sets. The reason why once you're in, because we started utilizing continuous tension. And like we literally went throughout that block of training at home because it was the first time of we training with free weights, and we just were like, right, could we get away with this? Could we do this? Could we do that? And it was now a case where as we started on any new training meso, and I say started on new training meso, mate, we've been doing the same training meso since prep, like pretty much. We've been doing relatively the same sort of thing from what I've been doing and you've been doing.
The only reason it's a new meso is because we have a deload and then we train again.
Yeah, exactly. We do the same sessions. Like push and arms have been on Monday now for what, over a year? You know, that's how it's been. And what we do is we literally will just manipulate it. So our training meso right now is very different to what it probably was at the start of the year if you were to look exercise to exercise, sets to reps, but we've just manipulated as we've gone. And if we can handle more as our body weight has come up, okay, cool. Your body weight's coming down. Your pressing frequency potentially doesn't need to be the same as it was prior.
We dropped like vertical pressing from 3 to 2.
Yeah, 3 to 2. That's sound because you're only doing 3 sets. So technically your pressing volumes come down, but that's because of recovery capabilities in line with your physique and how things are. And I can guarantee if we were to start, let's say you get to 195, you were to assess your physique and think, I actually need more like front delt. My delts are potentially a little bit weak. Okay, your pressing frequency could either go back up or potentially it could stay at 2 times, but volume could go up. So it would be like you'd make those manipulations, but we've never been the set scale of week 1 we do this, week 2 we do this, week 3 we do
all
this.
Adaptive. Like bodybuilding is a very adaptive sport. It's the same with like prescribing and deload. Like every 4 weeks you have to have one, or every 6 weeks you have to have one. For all you know, you could be on such a good run after that 5-6 weeks. The first 2 weeks you could have had loads of stress at work. Week 3 you could have had stress in a relationship. Week 4, 5, and 6 you could be feeling great and flying. Oh, deload. It's like, but I'm feeling mint and things are going well. Like you have to be.
What happens if you get ill? You know,
like there's so many things that can happen. You've got to be adaptive. I think prescribe. Like I have a couple of clients who I do that for because we've noticed that they're very regimented. They don't. There's very rarely ever any issues, and we've noticed that. Okay, you seem to be a bit trashed after 6 weeks of training. Every single time is when we kind of see the signs. So cool, let's prescribe that. But for the majority of people, you need to be adaptive and you need to know when the signs are there. But I don't like the whole approach of just right here you go. This is what everybody does. We all start on this volume. We all escalate to this. We all have deload after week 6. We all do this. It's like everybody's so different. You can't just. That's not coaching. That's just telling everyone to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, SJ Burrowmand, are knee sleeves worth the investment or are they just a fitness fashion accessory?
There's going to be some benefit, more so a little bit of support, keeping the joint warm and potentially aiding like I say not really. It's one of those.
Again,
do you have bad
it depends on the person.
Yeah.
Like if you have issues and you want to like potentially it'll help into like say warming the joint, but they're not essential.
No, definitely not. But I wouldn't be like they're a fitness accessory.
No,
but people can treat them like fitness.
I wouldn't just wear them without training, like wear them on an upper body day.
Yeah,
walking around. Oh, I've just got it's an accessory.
Yeah,
like an earring or something.
Yeah, you never know when you're just gonna do some squats. You know, you just need to be prepared.
Which is better? This is from SJ Burrowmand again. Which is better for quad stimulus? Toe point upwards to the ceiling or in a neutral position? So I'm assuming he means on a leg extension. Should I be in dorsiflexion, toes up towards your shins, or plantar flexion?
It is irrelevant.
Realistically, yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything at the knee. I would argue that you'll probably feel a bit better in dorsiflexion, so toes up. You probably feel like maybe a little bit stronger, like you're a bit more locked in,
more tight.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Same with a hamstring curl. I also recommend dorsiflexion on a hamstring curl because it's unlikely then that the calves are going to cramp up. If you're in plantar flexion on a hamstring curl, your calves are already responsible for the first degree of a hamstring curl anyway, or first degree of knee flexion. And they're probably gonna not take over, but you'll get like more out of your calf than you want, and you don't want your calves cramping up when you're trying to engage your hamstrings. So I would generally just say go into dorsiflexion unless you have any issues. If you go into dorsiflexion, then your tibialis is like flaring up, then maybe don't go into dorsiflexion. Like maybe try just being in a neutral position. But
for a leg extension, nothing changes at the knee, so therefore whatever feels best.
Yeah,
whatever you feel more tight and locked in with.
Matty Conway, how to program an upper session?
Pretty simple. Depends really. It would say first.
Every answer depends, isn't it?
Yeah, it would. But it depends on what you need. Like your upper session could be, for example, more pull emphasized upper session. You could have a hinge in it if you're doing upper lower. You could always look at how you've got the rest of the sessions. I would most likely say like a lateral raise or something to kind of get yourself a little bit warm, like 2 presses, a vertical press and a horizontal press. Choose whichever one needs more work in the sense of a physique standpoint first. And then you would want to do your pulls. Again, a vertical pull and a horizontal pull is probably what I'd go with in that order. But again, do you need more thickness potentially? Do you need more mid-back? Maybe you could do a horizontal, then a vertical, whatever's going to be best. And then how much time do you have? How do you feel? What were the movements prior, like from a compound standpoint? What do I do as your isolations? Do you need more chest? Do a fly. Do you need more rear delt? Do a rear delt fly. Do you need a bit more arms? Do some arms. And that would be your upper session. And then go home.
Then go home. Yeah, I think you can keep an upper session so basic, like literally, like you say, vertical push, vertical pull, horizontal push, horizontal pull. You can do those in any order that you really want based on, again, which one you want to target a bit more when you're fresher. And then a lateral movement, arms. You could literally do that. That'd be what? 7 movements.
Yeah. And that'd be sound.
And you've covered everything there.
You actually need the lateral. Like if you're doing lateral and you don't really need to bring your side delts up, you could literally do 2 presses, 2 pulls, and in theory,
that could be it.
That could literally be the session. And then
depending on what your other sessions are, but
yeah, you can bulk out the majority of the movements you actually need for your physique.
And then just go home.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. This is from Oren. I think it's like a 3-part question. Best tricep compound. Oh, no, it's not. It might be. Best tricep compound when Smiths are shit and dips have been run into the ground. Can a decline press with a close grip be optimal? And then something else in a second.
Like a close grip flat bench or something like that, or potentially, do you have to do a dip or a close grip press?
You have to do a tricep compound.
Yeah.
You don't have to do a tricep compound. Like you could literally just do, we're calling it a tricep compound because we're classing it as a press, but you could easily do like a skull crusher or like a JM press. Like you're getting
heavier isolation
triceps.
Also,
I like a neutral.
Your other presses. Like if you get stronger with a shoulder press or like an incline press,
you're still going to grow. Yeah. I do like a neutral grip dumbbell press, but again, it's not essential. If you're wanting as much out your triceps as possible, I would argue that you're better off doing like a JM press or a skull crusher, or some form of tricep extension rather than treating it as a press. But yeah, then he also asked, no adductor machine. Should I add extra volume to other legs for this period? Add some volume to your third leg, mate.
Yeah, always need volume for that third leg.
A lot of gyms don't have an adductor. I wouldn't necessarily go and say chucking loads more volume elsewhere. If you feel like you can get away with an extra set here or there on quads or hamstrings, then great. But also, like, your adductors are going to be involved in things like a leg press, things like a squat pattern, things like a hip thrust. So it's not as if just because you're not doing any direct adduction, you're still going to be stimulating the adductors, just not directly.
What adductors? What adductors? The Magnus?
Probably the Magnus, maybe the longest brevis, maybe actually the pectineus.
Yeah, the pectineus. Yeah, I was thinking that one, to be fair.
Pectineus on a leg press.
Yeah.
You're not doing a pectineus focused leg press, mate.
No,
you haven't lived.
I was going for the brevis. That's what I was trying to.
Oh, yeah. The longest brevis. Brevis.
Yeah, I was just getting it confused. I was like, fuck.
Don't know which is which. I couldn't connect with one. It was weird.
Hey, man, I can connect my brevis, my longness brevis. Oh, love it. I don't know where that came from, but I don't know where we originated that from.
I do. It was from the not in Pure Gym, in Progress Works on the Cybex adductor. It names them all. And I was saying, oh, mate, today I'm aiming for the pectineus. Like, what are you aiming for today?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we do have a laugh, don't we, mate?
Yeah, I know, we do.
Right.
Right, are we on to the questions from today now?
We are, yeah.
Right, I'll go through a few. Since of food intolerances. You got any food intolerances, mate?
Mate, you got loads of questions.
Wow, we're not getting through all of these.
What? Nah, we'll do another one at the weekend.
Yeah,
we could try and get a couple done each week at the minute because we've got some time together. What's that? Yeah. Food intolerances.
Yeah. Any food you eat and you just shit yourself afterwards or throw up?
No, but I had that issue with pineapple where I had to lay on a cold floor naked, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's it from
me.
And
the chicken skin.
Yeah, and the chicken skin from Nando's fucked me up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So stay away from. I reckon I could have pineapple again. I think I was just having too much of it.
Yeah, I haven't really ever had any food that's sat really like. No, not really. I'm very simple because I don't really ever deviate from the food choices I
You
eat.
are very simple.
Yeah, I'm very simple. So I don't deviate from the food choices that I usually would have. Therefore, I rarely ever have digestion issues because I look at something and I go, that looks nice. I'm not going to eat it. And that's my usual thought process because I know it would fuck me up. Because I know foods don't sit well with me. Like if I was to have loads of ice cream or loads of desserts and stuff, I wouldn't sit well with me. So I wouldn't have it. But I'd look at it and go, that's nice. I wouldn't eat it. So yeah.
So you're just so disciplined, mate. So inspiring.
Right, DP Fit. I actually answered this for him today. So this is to anybody who isn't DP Fit because I've already answered this to him.
That's a lot of people as well.
Yeah, so many. Opinions on 4 meals instead of 5 longer between meals improves appetite. Basically says that he crams in between his 5th and his 4th meal. So his post meal and his post.
So basically, is there any benefit of having 5 versus 4?
Yeah.
Not really. Completely depends on you. If you're up for, let's say, 16 hours of the day, so you've got 8 hours that you're asleep. If you then eat, let's say, every 4 hours of that 16 hours, that's 4 meals.
Yeah.
So you're spiking muscle protein synthesis adequately doing that. The only thing that I would say is each meal, let's say you weigh 220 pounds, and that's relatively lean body mass as well. Let's say you're on 220 protein or maybe even more. Having that, again, dependent on how many carbs you're on and trace protein, but having that amount of protein per meal is maybe not necessary, maybe not like needed. It's a bit excessive, but again, that depends on how big you are as an individual. It depends on the phase that you're in. Like, for example, like if I get a female client who weighs 140 pounds, they're not, and again, let's say their lean body mass would be close to 100 pounds. Do they need to have 5 meals? Probably not. It's actually going to be harder to get enough complete protein in per meal for them alongside carbohydrates and trace protein from those. So yeah, like again, depends on the individual. Like depends on your situation. If you're struggling to get 5 in, then just have 4. Like I wouldn't. There's no the benefit of you not stressing and struggling to eat and digest it is going to be so much better. That is worse than going to 4.
That line there, I literally said, I was like, it's not worth the stress if it is a stress.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Can I train arms? Can I train arm days in a row when trying to grow them, e.g., pushing arms and then pulling arms?
Yes.
If you can recover. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can recover.
That's
pretty simple. I don't think we need to go into detail. If your arms recover, train your arms. Do you want to do for a few of yours, mate?
Yeah, so this is a fantastic name. You ready?
Yeah.
Kostas Sadamopoulos. Kostas Sadamopoulos.
Greek,
definitely Greek. Everywhere, I don't know. This might be racist, but when I used to watch football, every single Greek player's name was something Opoulos.
Yeah.
When they won the Euros.
What about Kostas Tsimikas, mate? Best left back.
Yeah, he wasn't playing for him then, was he?
Yeah, but Tsimikas, mate. The Greek Scouts, what a player.
Anyway, so this is quite a good question. So, how to handle someone that still needs to lose body fat, weight has stalled, but food is too low?
What is food is too low?
Yeah, that's the first thing to question.
Where is expenditure? That's one thing I would also be looking for. Like, could you make manipulations? And also, I do think a lot of people classify like, oh, I'm on low food, and it's like you're really not. You could be on a lot lower food.
Yeah, and I also think people classify weight stalling as, oh, my weight's not dropped in the past few days. So that's not weight stalling.
And you look at it in comparison to 2 weeks before, and you're
across the month they're still 3 pounds down or whatever.
But mate, you don't know about obviously having a refeed to kind of get granuloleptin back into a good spot or potentially spiking metabolism. You never thought about that? Like,
in all seriousness,
diet break,
a refeed or a diet break, if in all seriousness they are on very, very low food and they're pretty trash, that actually can be beneficial. But I would argue you probably just need to adhere better, be consistent. Yeah. It's not that, oh, you're in starvation mode. It's not that. It's that you're probably not adhering or you've not been adhering for long enough.
Yeah.
Or you're not in enough of a deficit, you need to create more of one through expenditure or pulling food down more.
Yeah. I'll see it loads of times where clients will have they might go out on the weekend, body weight, they might have a few drinks, body weight comes down, then body weight goes up, let's say towards the latter end of the week. and their average weight is a little bit lower than the week before, but they've had out of the last 7 days, 5 days have been on, 2 days they haven't. And they're like, oh, mate, my weight isn't really dropping. It's been a bit inconsistent. Like, it's been up, but I've been on it for the last like 4, I've been on it this week, but you've gone out on the weekend. You've not been on plan for a consistent amount of time. And therefore, like, your course there's inconsistencies. And like as we mentioned, scale weight, when you usually hear weight plateauing, it's really not. It's just like weight is actually going down, or if it isn't, you usually have to question your own adherence and you have to question what you're actually doing. And with sometimes a diet break, a refeed can have benefits, 100%. But I'd most likely, for the vast majority of individuals, say if the goal is to lose fat, that should be the goal. And if you have fat on you, what's that going to correlate to? Eating less or eating the same as what you have done, but adhering better, and moving maybe more, or moving the same as what you have done before, but just sticking to plan.
If you're someone who says, oh, I've been really on it the last few days, or I've been really on it this week,
yeah,
that's why you're not losing fat, because you think that's impressive, or you think that's good. I've been really good this week. Like, you can't just be really good one week. You have to be consistent over time. And that doesn't mean being 100% on it 24/7, can't live my life, can't do this, can't do that. But it's actually having a routine and actually having a bit of a structure and having control over your energy balance. If you don't have control over your energy balance, then it's impossible.
Even if you have structure, like imagine if you were waking up every day at like 5 a.m. Let's say 5 a.m. one day, then 9 a.m. the following day, and then 1 p.m. and then back to 5 a.m. Weight's going to be all over the place. You're going to be lighter. Let's say if you were to weigh yourself at 1 p.m. on Monday and then 5 a.m. on Friday, the likelihood of you being lighter on Monday is going to be there, because there's going to be a bigger amount of time that you would have slept, likewise from water, say fluid, food, etc. And you could look at it and go, oh my God, I'm heavier on Friday, but you're waking up at different times, you know? And that's going to be
loads of things, loads of
exactly. Too many things.
But more often than not, it is, are you actually adhering?
Yeah. Who's got a bigger willy? Can you check, please? Miles Mason.
Yeah. Get out now.
Mate, imagine if we both just stood up and was like, wow. Finn, how far away are you from the camera? I'd be like, bro, what's it? Mine's a MacBook Pro. We know mine's got a wider lens. Fuck. Mine looks bigger, I promise. It's bigger in person, guys. Come on.
I think mine after yesterday, I showed you it, didn't I, in my trousers?
Yeah. Really big, to be fair, mate. I'm gonna be honest.
Huge on it. Hanging down my leg.
Yeah, exactly. It's impressive, man. DGJ Fitness, Dan the Gas Jones Fitness. Chances of you doing classic in 2024? Legs are fucking mint, mate. Why not? Well, I'd have to make weight and I'd struggle, mate. My cap is 212 in the amateur rank, so I'd have to be a pro. So that means pro card next year and then classic the year after. Maybe, but I'd like to do a year in the pro ranks of men's physique. So it's probably 2025, if I'm honest. And then I'll do a year in classic, see how I look, and then I'll probably just, if I'm not getting any better, probably retire in 2026. So I've really got a few more years of this, and then I'm done. And then that's me finished.
You'll be dead by then anyway.
Yeah, if I still survive. So yeah, scary. But no, in all seriousness, we'll see. I wouldn't be able to compete in drop my phone. I wouldn't be able to compete in the amateur ranks in classic, because I wouldn't be able to make weight, unfortunately, with the improvements I'd need to make. That's the thing, because my quads would have to be a lot bigger. I'd be better suited if I were to take some muscle off my delts and just put them on my quads, to give me a bit of a better kind of sweep. But yeah, so I'd have to have an extra 10 to 15 pounds, which if I was in the pro ranks would be doable, but not in the amateur ranks, Dan. So therefore, pro card, then a year in physique, then in pro physique, then year in classic probably, and see. And then, we'll see. Then got the goal is the O. The goal is the O, bro. But if I did really well in the pro ranks in men's physique, I wouldn't go to classic, because I'd be like, right, cool, let's see how it would have to be where I'd like know my limit. There we go.
That kind of leads to the next question. So Archie 13, what are your goals when you both step back on stage?
Yours is the step up. Maybe do better than you're gonna win a show next year, mate. Is that the goal?
Not about that, just about being better. So as long as I'm better than I was last time, that's all I care about.
Yeah, not to win.
Nope.
Fair enough.
In all seriousness, I'd love to win, but like, I'm very realistic. Like, I know that I'm not at the level of going and winning shows or being undeniable or winning British titles. I'm not at that point. So
it could be. I do think you undersell yourself. I do think you're like, I don't gas you up at all. I do think you're like let's say you're legit is like 7 out of 10. I think you think you're like a 4 out of 10, and I think you're like a 7 out of 10. You know, like
Yeah, I think I'm a 3.
yeah, I think you're a bit better than what you think you are. I don't think you're amazing, but I think you're a bit better than you think you are.
Yeah, I
Like
think you're a bit worse than you think you are.
a bit worse than you think you are. Yeah, probably. I'm fucking shit. Yeah, no, I think I'm a 7, and I know I am a car 7. I don't think I'm
No
better than
chance. You think you're a 12 and you're about an 8.
Nah, maybe a 9. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
maybe a 9.
Yeah, maybe a 9. Maybe one day a 10. That'd be the goal.
But yeah, like in all seriousness, I just want to be I want to be proud of how I look and be, and that's not me saying, oh, I've got to a point where I'm happy with how I look, because there'll always be room to improve. But I'd love to win a show. I'd love to win a British title. I'd love to, yeah, obviously you want to win everything. I'm not going to go and just try and be shit, but I'm also not deluded, and I'm not going to go, the only goal is to fucking win a British title. Nothing else matters to me. Build it up so much that then if I do get beat, end up crying on my social media and being like, oh my God.
Give
It's
it
like,
up.
yeah, I'm going to sack it off now. Like, just fucking, as long as you're getting better, what else can you ask for?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Do I do like 2 or 3 more and then we'll wrap it up?
Yeah. What we got? 8 minutes.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up and then that's fine. Right. Is it a red flag for a girl to have lots of male friends and not to have many girl mates? What a question for us. Like,
Who's asked that?
AC Gym 02.
I don't know. I don't know whether I'd be overly fond of that. Would
Yeah,
you? Would you love that?
I don't really.
I don't think I'd be too bothered, to be fair.
I wouldn't really care.
Shannon's
Just
in
be
a
like,
group chat
oh,
with lads from work. It's called.
yeah,
No, I won't say what I was going to say.
yeah. It's called Shannon's weekly fucking like Shannon's weekly visit to see the boys. That's
It's
what it
called
is.
Spit Rose Shannon, is what I was going to call it.
Very Shannon. Fair enough. What's this group chat about? It's just work banter.
Don't worry about it. It's called
Yeah,
Spit. Nah, don't worry about it. Okay,
don't worry about the name. It's just a joke. It doesn't really happen, I promise. Great week, great day today, Shannon. Can't wait till next week. No, I don't know. I wouldn't really think too much of it. At the end of the day, like lads are lads. If she's giving you a reason to have self-doubt or doubt about the relationship, maybe it could be her own insecurities. Maybe she's cheating. Find
Maybe
out.
communicate it. Don't ask
Yeah.
us on the podcast. Just speak to her.
Yeah, exactly. Pet hate with your clients. Go on, Finn. What's your number one hate with all your clients? Let's get them to sack you. Let's see how many clients we can get to sack us from this next question.
Again, we always say we don't have like pet peeves, don't we?
Yeah.
I would say people who, when you outline what they need to do and you outline that it's going to require some effort, you outline that they need to send form videos, etc., etc., etc. People who then still sign up and then after a few weeks go, oh, I just don't think I can do it.
Yeah.
I outlined all this. Or people who think that they have to be perfect and they don't communicate when, like, for example, they won't check in because they had a meal with their partner at the weekend. Yeah. And I'm like, what? Like, what? Why on earth would you not check in? You're more than welcome to do that. Like, please do that. That's absolutely fine. Like, it's almost like they expect that they're going to get told off or something like that. It's like, not in the slightest. So people who aren't willing to communicate, or people who don't understand that they actually have to put some effort in.
Yeah. No, I agree. And that's a good. I think those two are pretty perfect, to be fair, mate.
Thanks.
No worries, mate.
Gio Ashley, Reece should have spotted you on that shoulder press in Ultraflex. #Spottergate. That's fair enough. Yeah, it's fine. It's correct. Harry Parks won top 3 at Arnold's UK in Open and Classic. Do you know who's competing at the Arnold's?
I know Cube is doing Classic.
Is he?
Yeah, he's doing Classic.
Well, what we'll do, we'll remember that. Remember that question, and we'll get it up in the next podcast. And we'll actually, or at some point before the Arnold's, we'll give our predictions.
Yeah, we'll do it after the Arnold's and go, fucking, we knew it.
We knew we were right,
yeah.
Kieran Daly, predictions for the relegation 6-pointer.
This is Liverpool United. Is this what it is? Yeah. Liverpool will win. They should do.
Will they? Will they now?
Yeah, Liverpool will win.
Yeah, I think we'll get smashed again.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 3-0. I'm gonna say 3-0.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, maybe more. We did you what 5-0 and 4-0 last year.
Yeah, but we beat you in pre-season.
4-0. Fuck yeah, shit.
I don't know. Like it wouldn't. It's one of those. It wouldn't surprise me if we got beat 5-0, but it also wouldn't surprise me if we won 1-0 or we got a draw. But
you won't beat. Liverpool won't lose. Liverpool won't lose any games.
Liverpool
really.
Never lose. Liverpool never lose.
We don't get beat. We don't get beat. We just draw games.
You do get beat. You've never lost a game ever.
No, we only ever lose through freak games where we miss chances. Like last year, the 2 games where we lost, West Ham and Leicester, we missed a penalty and Mane missed like 2 sitters in both. Like we literally only ever lose. We create too many chances to really lose that many games. We just draw games, which is unfortunate. So yeah.
What we got? 4 minutes.
Yeah, go through some of yours, mate. I'll be done for now.
This one is, and I'm sure. Oh, he messaged me about this actually. So Max Fowler Fitness, thoughts on scapular retraction on pressing, effects on scapular-humeral rhythm, and then he put injury risks. So what I think he means by that, so basically, from what I'm aware, scapular-humeral rhythm is basically the ratio in which your scapula moves to your humerus, depending on where your humerus is. But again, it's not my area of expertise. I don't know why that would mean that retracting your scapula on a press would impact that.
I've not read about this directly, but I've heard people murmur, and I've heard murmurs of all scapular retraction. Maybe not the best.
Yeah, but I think excessive scapular retraction. Yeah, but that's just because it's going to feel excessive and it feels like you're retracting over. Like if I was trying to press like this, it'd feel awful. Yeah, like you don't need to be here trying to press because you're massively restricting yourself. You can't even get your pec short. But you don't want to be protracting every rep.
Yeah,
you don't need to be in full retraction.
It'd be the same as like you hear people say full range of motion, but if you were to go into a movement and like it would feel horrendous, like a hip adductor. If you're like forcing more in the lengthened, that's not going to be
popping fibers left, right, and center.
Yeah, your brevis is going to go, guys. Come on.
Actinia's gone.
Just think about
are you a pig?
Think about your Magnus, guys. Come on, this is what you really need to be thinking about. Like, I think a lot of things like this are going to be like you've read a study, or you've heard something, or you've looked on a YouTube video,
and it's like just focus on it a lot. Yeah.
Actually, ask yourself: does this feel comfortable? If it does, sound crack on. If it doesn't, probably don't do it. And that's almost how it should be. Range of motion should be how it is from every aspect, like training, making manipulations to your exercise setup. Like if you do an exercise that doesn't, like everyone says it feels amazing, but it doesn't feel good for you, probably it's not good for you. Like that's how it should be. I was saying that
to Will Jones when we trained together. So he was doing a lateral, like a lying lateral. And I said to him, literally, I just said, how does it feel? And he was like, yeah, it feels mint. I was like, cool. There were loads of things that we could have tweaked if he said it felt shit. But when he said, yeah, it feels good, I was like, sound. I don't need to change anything. It looks like we could make a change, but we actually don't need to if you're feeling like you're getting loads out of it and you're connecting really well with the side delt. I think it's very easy to be like, oh, well, I saw this person doing it like this and they said that this is how you have to do it, so I have to do it like that. It's like, yeah, but how does that actually feel for you? Oh, it feels a bit uncomfortable. Well, don't do it like that then. Do it how it feels good for you.
Individuals.
Yeah.
And everyone's individual. And that'll be that. That's the podcast.
Thanks, guys. Oh, what if I wanted to do another question?
There's no more questions.
This is my podcast, mate.
This is not.
You've been gone for 2 weeks.
Mate, come on. We've said this before. You're a nobody at this point. You've got 12,000 followers. That's it. No one knows. People are just tuning in for me. People are tuning in for me. Right. We've already got a minute. We need to do the outro. That's that. Thanks as always. Thanks for story tags. We're back. We're going to be doing another one over the next week or so. So we might be doing like a 2-parter. We'll do 2 in 1 week. And if we get time. So, yeah. Thanks as always, guys. Yeah. Thanks as always. Catch you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.